Okay, so for starters, I've already set up Probuilder in this project. So as you can see, I've got ProGrids and Probuilder set up. So if you need any help with that, you can refer to another video I have up at the moment. It's Probuilder column, I believe. So Unity 3D and Probuilder column. So I do a tutorial on how to actually import the Probuilder tools and ProGrids. These are actually downloaded through the package installer, so you can have a look there if you need any help with that. So for starters, I'm going to create a new shape. It's going to be a cube. I'll set its position to 0, 0, 0, right at the center of my world. And then I'm going to set the ProGrids iterations to 1 step. Hopefully that'll map in nicely. Yep, that's cool. And then I'm going to build my cube. Close that. Then in poly mode, I'm going to start extruding out the shape. So I'm going to make this a central box area with a kind of a weird tunnel system looping back in on itself. This is not going to be very fancy, but it'll just give an interesting space to walk around. And then I'm going to go and put textures based on a kind of a trim sheet texture map that I put together earlier. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It could be absolutely awful, and I might need to use something else. So bear with me on that. So this is going to be a 5x5 grid, and then we're going to use the Probuilder Bezier tool to create a curve and then create some modular blocks that I can stick together and hopefully feed back into this. It could be an absolute catastrophe, but we'll fix it up as we go. So let's get stuck in. I'm going to extrude out 4 more spaces across this way. Then I'm going to extrude out 4 more this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to pick the top of my building, my room, and then extrude that out another 2 steps. Make the walls nice and high, so they'll be 3 meters tall. Then I'm going to flip the faces, so pick object mode and go down to flip normals. And then I need to actually create the shape. So I'm hoping to make a kind of a hexagonal shape to cut out here now. I'm probably going to pay for this later because it's going to be a pain in the ass to fit the actual tunnel system to this, but hey, that's the challenge, so may as well go for it. I'm going to pick my edges and start putting in edge loops here because I need more geometry in order to cut things out. So I'm going to pick this edge up here and insert an edge loop around. There we go. And then I'll move that to the side. And then I need another edge loop for the top of the doorway or top of the archway. So I've got this middle section here. Could I use that? Let me see. If I move this one, so I'll select this edge loop and see what happens if I move it up. Go up to select and edge loop and snap that up 1 unit. No, because it's a hex, I need an extra edge loop through here, so I may as well place that in now. Insert edge loop. There we go. Okay, cool. So that gives us the basic geometry that we need for our room. I'm going to move in these points on both sides. I'm going to move these points on both sides. I'm going to leave the width as it is, and then I'm going to pull in these points. Maybe, what's the best way to do this? Maybe 0.5, would that make sense? Let me think. Yeah, actually, do you know what? I'm going to try this way first. So I'm going to move this ProGrids number down to 0.5 increments. And then I'm going to pick these points here and move those in just to 0.5. So we're going to create that kind of hex shape that way. Is that possibly too wide? It might fix this up later on. Let's see what shape we actually create with our Bezier curve, and then we'll fix that up as we need to later. Right, so let's move the rest of these in. So I'm moving that in 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. And then I'm going to cut out these holes. Right, so back to poly mode. Let's pick these faces, hit backspace to actually delete faces. Don't hit delete or delete the entire object. Backspace and backspace. Right, so there's the actual shape of the tunnel. So I want a tunnel that's going to loop around and back into the room, just to make it slightly interesting and also create a bit of a challenge. Right, so next I need to put in a Bezier curve. So this isn't actually part of the tool set yet, as you can see here. I think it's experimental, or for some reason, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm misrepresenting here, but I think it's been kept separate for a reason. Do you know what? Something's actually annoying me. I'm going to put these points on the floor. I'm going to match those up. Here, let's straighten those up. That's just annoying me. I'd say it's probably the same on top, is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Can I see? I can't see. No, they look okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Weird. Okay, cool. Oh, is it? No. Do you know what? That's killing me as well. OCD. All right. If I move this one, will it make things messy? No, that's just the extra geometry over there, right? Ah, yes, that's what it was. All right, so I need to straighten that one up. That one. Cool. Okay, they look pretty bang on now. All right, so let's get back to it. So the Bezier curve, yeah. So I was saying it's actually one of the tools that sits outside here. So if we go to Tools, Probuilder, and it's in Editors, new Bezier shape, right? Or Bezier or Bezier. Some people call them Beziers. So I'm going to create that, and it just spawns way off in the distance out here. Let's put that at 0, 0, and 0. And I need to try and match the end of this shape to this opening right here as close as possible. So I can see already I'm going to do a bit of stretching because the shape that I've made here. But yeah, that's what I want. So let's move this up a little bit in object mode. Let's pick this and snap this up a wee bit. So is that centered to the hole at the level? Yeah, that looks right. So it's the right. Yeah, it's the right height there. I might move it in so that it's level with the actual room. That's right there. These ends aren't actually perfect. So what you can do with these Beziers, well, you can do a hell of a lot more, but I'm just kind of lashing through this. You can close them off and then chop them up. When you close them off, you're guaranteed that it'll actually divide nicely. Well, not guaranteed. If you've got the right number of divisions up here, you can actually chop this up nicely. So I'm going to go down to my options in the Bezier and edit the Bezier shape. And now it brings up all these editing options like the amount of columns, rows, the radius, all that. What I want to do is close the loop, which will actually close it off nicely in a kind of circular shape, which is perfect for what I need because I want to just cut out a quadrant of this and then reuse it to snap the ends together to create interesting shapes. And then where I need longer tunnel segments, I'll just extrude out the edges and hopefully that they'll still snap together. Okay. So right now this is set to have 8 sides, I think, or 8 rows. Yeah, so we are actually creating a hexagon, so that should be 6. I'll put 6 in. Now you can see that it's actually created the shape that we need. So it's kind of bulging out to one point of the side, and it's got a flat roof or ceiling, and you can be assured that the bottom is flat as well. So the radius, I believe, is going to increase the overall thickness, which is interesting. You'd think that was almost like a thickness modifier, or but it actually increases the entire thickness of the actual the tube itself as well, not just the overall radius. So that's getting pretty close to the shape that I want. It's hard to see whether it's lining up correctly, but I think we're going to have to do a bit of modification anyway. Yeah, because that's actually quite narrowed there. If I increase the radius more, what happens? Let's have a look. Well, yeah, it's actually going to push out the top as well, which I don't want. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of messing around with this, but that's all part of the job. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to chance it and see if I can cut this up. Let's go to object mode and let's snap it over here. And let's see, have I got the right amount of faces? So this chops across to here, that goes evenly across that way, and we've got this nice curve here. Yeah, I'm going to use that, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of those. If that was uneven, I might be able to put nice kind of a rib shape in there, so we could actually create ridges like bulkheads. Maybe if I introduce more, let's say 17, 18, I'm making an odd number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What am I thinking? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Oh, crap. That needs to be 17. Sorry. There we go. No, because then that'll slightly offset. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Right, I'll just put it back to 16 and stop messing around. Okay. So I need to put this now into face selection and make sure that I have select hidden on, so I can actually select all of the faces that I want. I'm going to put it into top view, so out of perspective and into ISO. And then I'm going to select all the faces that I don't want, which are these ones. Hit backspace. And these ones. Ooh, we need those as well. Okay, are they selected? They are. Oh, good. Right, so that's the shape I will want. Well, for starters, now we need to match it up somehow to this, which is probably going to be impossible. Maybe I'll make it so that the opening area actually widens out a bit. Would that be cheating? It would be nice to get it spot on. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to put this into object mode again and start moving this closer to the point that I want it. So I want that to snap right onto the edge there. At least that works. That's good. And then, knowing that that's flush with the edge, I could probably snap what? Maybe I'll snap the door to meet it. That makes more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense. Otherwise, I'm going to be at this all night, which would be crazy. All right. So one of the handy things you can do with Probuilder is actually select verts, and by holding down the V key, they will snap to the closest vert of another object, even. So if I do this and drag to here, as you can see, it snapped onto this edge here. If I hold the V key again and drag to here, it snapped to there. This V key, the V key, and V key again, and V key again. I think they are snapping, and one more over here. So V to here. Right. God knows what this looks like now. Let's have a look. Well, do you know what would be helpful? If I flip the faces on the actual geometry outside as well. So I'll put this back into object mode, select this, and flip those faces. So, flip normals. Okay. What do we got? Does that look right? That looks pretty bang on, I think. Alright, let's just work with that for now. Excellent. Alright, so that's going to be our prototype. So we haven't actually moved or changed anything on this. So in theory, one of these should snap perfectly to another one of these, no matter what way we orient it or rotate it. Hopefully I don't prove myself wrong. Let's save where we're at for now. Save the scene. It's always good to save, guys. And let's duplicate this and snap it out to here. I'm going to rotate it using Control and Rotate, which gives me a lovely angular snap. Okay, is that too much? Nope. Maybe I need to move that now. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. That looks pretty cool. So we've got these nice angular turns, looking kind of sci-fi already. That's the kind of look I'm going for. I'm looking for a kind of a, you know, a strange alien ship look. It's the kind of look. So let's do one more turn. Duplicate. Snap that out here and start rotating again. Back to there. And snap and snap. Right. Okay. Cool. Yep. That's good. So, in theory, I should be able to grab all of these, duplicate them, and rotate them over here. So let's see if we can get some symmetry on this. So Control D, and rotate this way. There we go, something like that. Now, oh yeah, I forgot I have to do this part. Yeah, and also that is sticking in a little bit. That's a little bit off, so I need to push that out. Just on 0.5. Yeah, good. There we go. That looks about right. Cool. So now I need to fix up my geometry for this room. So holding the V key. Oh crap. There we go. V, drag, select, V, drag, select, drag, drag. That actually pushed down the floor a little bit there, I noticed. I wonder if that's going to play havoc with our textures later. We'll have a look. Hopefully not. So select V and drag. One more. It's this one, I hope. Oh, I think it was that one. Alright, that's hard to tell. Yeah, that looks pretty straight. That's good. Alright, cool. Alright, so now I need to create another turn back here. This looks crazy. But hey, it's a bit of fun. So, oops, don't need to do that. Let's drag this one over. And, sorry, I duplicated that, by the way. Forget to tell you what I'm doing sometimes. Apologies. Alright, so that's snapped together nicely there. I wonder if you could probably create like rotations up and down as well. It'd be kind of interesting, but not what we're looking for right now. So for this one, I might just extrude out the edges straight and make kind of a long corridor, maybe with a bend here that goes back, and then this is going to look nuts. So for that, I will. What can I do? Can I take the edges? Can you extrude the edges like that? So if I select the edge loop, I want that there. Select edge ring. No, not that one. Okay, I select that as an edge loop. Select. Oh, you know what? I'll just select them. Control, 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 control. Alright. Now, if I hold down Shift and drag, I wonder, does this actually extrude? It does, and I left one behind. Crap. Alright, so Control, click. So Shift and drag, and this will extrude out this way. I might have gone too far with that. And what I'm going to do is I'll move that back a bit. What would be fun actually is if I create another room. Why not? I'll just create another room. So there's the original cube. If I duplicate that and place that down here, like so. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, and then go back to my edges, which are still selected. Magic. And that should snap perfectly to there. It does. Lovely. Alright, now all I got to do is select this one, duplicate that. Am I right? I wonder. I'll be able to drag that across and rotate now. Let's have a look. So if I do that way, will it work, or is it going to do something horrible when I do this? Let's rotate out from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Let's have a look. Yeah, that's good. And they should be the same on both sides. I wonder, does that snap? It does. Wow. Okay. So that's kind of interesting, and to be honest, it's quite a complex shape. It would be quite hard to produce that quickly elsewhere. So that's all ready to rock. that's our level section complete. We now need to material it, so put some materials on this. We're going to bring in my texture sheet that I mentioned. So I'm going to create a folder for this, call it textures. Also need a material folder. Let's create that. So materials, and inside there I need to import a new asset. Can't remember where I put this. It's in textures, and there it is. Okay, and this trim sheet I made is rough as hell, but I made it from a bunch of photographs I took around the college. So I dipped out of class for a few minutes and took some photographs of doors and grids and railings and all sorts of things, and I came up with this texture sheet, and I actually made a normal map from it as well. So I'll import both of those, and let's see what I can get. Okay, materials. Let's create a new material from that. What do I call this? Sci-fi walls. And let's drop that texture on. That's my albedo, and that's my normal. Let's fix that. Okay, so I don't even know what's good here. So we're going to use a method. So if you aren't familiar with trim sheets, essentially it's kind of a texture that's broken down into like a series of images that you can select with your UV maps, and we're going to edit the UVs on each of these blocks. And my God, was I silly to actually duplicate all these. You know what? That's it mapped out anyway. What I can do is I can do one of these with its UVs. I can do one of these with its UVs and then copy and paste them back into position afterwards. Yeah, I kind of shot ahead there, wasn't thinking. It's always good to plan, folks. So yeah, I'm going to do one of these, see what it looks like with its UVs, and I might actually even pull out some more geometry. I'd like to use, later on, I'd like to use a post-processing profile coupled with some bloom to actually create some nice little side lighting on these inner tubes. So yeah, let's look at that as well. Okay, so let's get started. There's enough talking. Let's pick this guy here. I'm going to fix those points as well. That's annoying me. Let's put that. Ooh, is that right? Oh yeah, because they moved when I moved the. Ooh yeah, that's never going to work, right? Yeah, that's the price I paid for moving these points around. So yeah, hopefully they're still right. Okay, so it's a top-down shooter. So we're not really. I mean, we're going to be looking from this kind of perspective here. So we're not going to need the ceiling of our world. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the ceiling. It's probably going to get in the way anyway when we try to do ray casting later on. So I'm going to go inside and pick that and hit backspace. That backspace there. Okay. Oh, there as well. Okay. All right, backspace. I'm going to duplicate that one and fix it later. Oh, there's another one there. Crap. There. Okay, and backspace. Right, so I'm going to get into the ground area and let's pick all these UVs, or these polys I should say. I think that's all of them. Cool. I'm going to go into my material editor and then apply my material. So there's sci-fi walls. Now what this is going to do is it's going to apply the entire material, which I haven't shown you yet, sorry. I should probably give you a look at that. Let's see, can I bring a preview of that up, or can I open it? Show in Explorer. There it is there. Okay, so if we double click on that, we have a look. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. I should have shown you. So this is kind of like subsections of parts of textures. So I have this strip here of metal with bolts on it. I've got this kind of corrugated iron stuff. Got this zinc palette here, and I've got some kind of nicely kind of painted yellow stripe bulkhead markers. You know, you could put one of these on the side of a bulkhead, or part of a corridor, to let you know that don't bang your head. Or it's just a nice from a visual sense to break up your geometry and your areas with nice standout colors like this. And then there's just some more metal pieces, and maybe the side of a crate. You could have a metal crate or something, and then just some random metal. Maybe that could be the flooring or something like that. So this is the way it's all broken up. So I'm actually going to break up the UVs so that they match each of these points wherever I need them. So I could say a polygon on the floor might have its UVs set to take up just this space here. So it's really efficient when you're looking at texture load times and the amount of space that textures take up to actually have everything packed into one area like this. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of it's good practice. It's definitely something you should look at doing. Right, so the floor area, I'm not happy because it's just showing every single part of the texture here. What I got to do is select each of the faces. So there's that one. Is that still selected? Yep. And then I'm going to go to my UV editor. Now this is going to look a bit scary when we open for starters. And to be honest with you, I'm not totally up to scratch with Probuilder's UV editor myself. So these are the actual UVs that I've selected. So these are the polys, as you can see, right? So if I pull those out this way, you can see inside our scene view that it's basically mapping all of these images from around the texture map itself. So as I move these polys around, it's actually adjusting what is being drawn onto these poly surfaces. So if you know about UVs, you're probably going to find this kind of boring, and I'm really dumbing it down here, but essentially imagine this is my texture and that's being repeated over and over and over again, roughly the same size over and over again. And if I were to center these UVs somewhere like there and scale everything down, you'll notice that they'll probably get much larger. They'll see a much larger area, each of them. Okay. So as you can see, it's being reflected now inside the UV map. So these aren't joined together. It would probably be a good idea for us to actually stitch these together and treat them as one object. That way, I could have them map to the floor really evenly. So is there an actual stitch mode? Group selected faces. There we go. And now if I scale this, I'm hoping that they will actually stick together. They do, which is really handy. Now what I can do is, well, I could take all of these and move them out of the way for the minute. I don't care what they're doing for the minute. So they're still using the standard Probuilder texture set, as you can see there. So I'll leave those as they are for a minute, and I'll move this onto my texture map. So it's kind of skewed here. You're seeing it like 1-to-1, but it still has, I'm hoping, the same resolution. So it's basically a 4K by 2K, or could you even say that it's 4096 across by 2048. So what I want to do is I want to sit my entire floor on this area here. So I'm going to treat this as my floor texture. Not great, but look, it's just a quick job here that we're doing. So let's map this up to here as much as we can get, and let's drag that. Ooh, not that way. I'm going to drag it down vertically so it'll fit everything in. There we go. So if I do that, you'll see that my entire floor has been textured with that part of the texture. Okay. So yeah, feel free to make comments about this. I know I'm probably annoying a lot of people with the way I'm doing this, simply because it would be nice to have each of these UVs repeating over and over. Oh my god, there we go. Let's pick that. Let's shift it over a little bit. But that's going to do a very quick and easy job for our floor area. It's going to be nice and easy. Okay. I'm going to use the same setup for all of the floors inside here, and I'm actually just going to duplicate this and move it up here again, so I don't have to worry about this floor area here. Okay, so the actual walls themselves, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to try and pick as many or some separate interesting parts. So I might actually put something different here or here or here, depending on what part of the UV we select. So let's have a look. What can we choose here? We'll zoom out. And this is the way each of these UVs have been broken down. So let's select, I suppose, these ones first and apply the same material. Is that not selecting? That's really annoying. So Control, Control, and Control. So for some reason I can't select multiple polys. That's really annoying. What's going wrong here? Okay. Interesting. What if I do it in here? Okay, so maybe having the UV window open actually stops me from selecting multiple polys out here. That might be something. So I can actually select them over here, which is really great, but for some reason it's not selecting inside there. Anyway, I want to apply that same material again. So if I go back to my material, click Sci-Fi Walls, you see it starts repeating it all over again. Then I'm going to go back to my UV editor, and then I'm going to assign those UVs to something a little bit more interesting down here. So these need to be scaled way down, as you can see. Let's scale them this way. Oops, need to group those again. I group those selected faces. It's just handy to move them around, and I can separate them out later on again if I want to. So let's move those in there and see what we get over here. If you wanted to do this and match these up externally, you can actually render out one of these UV templates. So basically you can render out all of these UVs as a transparent map that you can then overlay in something like Photoshop, and then you can manipulate your texture so that it fits in the UV. So it's the other way around. Here I'm actually manipulating the UV so they fit my texture. Okay. Right. Okay. So what have I got here? Do you know what? I might just drag these and fit them. I'll take these separate areas here. So I'll ungroup these. Oops. So if I break those, they jump, which is really annoying. I didn't know that's going to happen. What I might do is just drop them in as is for the moment. Let's see, what have I got? This is actually kind of interesting looking. Am I going to be so cheeky as to just leave them as they are? Let's see. If it works, it works. You know, we're going to do a lot with lighting, and we're not going to see these walls very often, simply because it is a top-down shooter. So, what do you think? Yeah, everyone's going to go crazy about this. What the hell are you doing? Okay, so if I move those there, maybe I'm being lazy. I think I'm being lazy. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so from up here, it's not the worst thing in the world, but you know, can obviously do a lot better. It almost makes like that look like it's supposed to be a door or something, so that's kind of crappy. If I were to break that out and move it, ooh, that's having crazy results there now. See the way that's actually taken so it's actually holding on to that UV for some reason. So even if I try and select that and move it around, it's going to create havoc down here with this. So that's a little, oh, maybe it's only, oh, that might be a bug. Okay, so look, do you know what? I could put that on there. Oh, that's really annoying. Can I even move that properly? Alright. I wonder, do I have to convert that? Oh, yes, okay, so I've converted that to manual, which will give me a little bit more control there, which is cool. But still, look, it's actually hanging on and drawing that with it, which is annoying. It's kind of putting me off. I'm going to scale that up here. And scale it out, just so we got something a little bit more interesting to look at. I know I was going to use that for the side of a box, but we still can. You'll see that a lot in games where things are repurposed for use elsewhere. Okay, so I'm going to scale that in a little bit more. Alright. And even though, look, it's looking like it's kind of rectangular over here, you can see that that is actually mapped out in a complete square shape over there. This face here is upsetting me. So maybe I could do something a bit more interesting. Maybe I can't. What have I got here? This is the top of that one. This one is there. Okay. So what I could do is just stretch these overall. Right, so if I were to pick these here, I can't select more than one, which is frustrating. Which one's that one? Oh, okay, so that's down there. Great. Right, what if I group those again? Alright, so they've all stuck together. That's cool. If I were to put these, if I were to align them so that it doesn't actually look like a ladder, what I could do is rotate them. So if I hold down Control and rotate this way, and then if I scale them inwards, okay, not that way, is that? Yeah, so that's weird, scaling in, because I rotated it. I could say that they run the whole length of that corrugated part right there. Yeah, this is a little bit glitchy, but the effect you get afterwards is definitely worth it. So I need to scale that in that way, and I'm going to stretch these in here and scale them out this way. And the more I scale this out, the more it will actually repeat over and over again, which is kind of cool. But it looks a little bit too much like the floor when I do that, so I'll separate it that way. What we could do as well is, say that's the bottom part, well, we could have that repeat over and over again on top of this one. So if I break those selected faces, and if I move this one somewhere like this, right, that's a little bit janky. Don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a bug or if I'm doing something wrong. I'd love your feedback, guys, if anyone has any input about that. Right, so I'm going to scale that down, just to say like that's kind of watch your step or something like that, and move it up like so. Okay, so look, I'm not going to dwell on this for too long. I'm hoping you're getting the idea of what I'm doing here. Obviously, you should spend more time on this. And guys, I whipped up this texture set earlier really quickly, so please forgive me for the speed at which I'm working here with this. I need to get through a lot. Okay. So the idea is to do the same thing all the way around. Okay, so this might be the part of the video where I say, look, I'm going to cut away and come back when it's all done, or I might chop this up into separate videos detailing the entire process. But hey, look, I'm going to still keep recording. I still keep clicking here, so bear with me. Right, I need that one, and that one. Let's move those up, separate them out. Okay, so this, and this are these walls here. They probably have the same parts as this one over here. That one, do you know what? I'm probably going to rotate that. That's annoying me. That shouldn't be there. And this one is the bottom of that, right? So that could be a little bit more interesting as well. Do you know what? Let's put those on top of this here. Let's put that there. Don't use that yet. So zoom in on that. and scale up. Okay, for some reason that has actually taken this poly with it, which is really bad. If I look back there now and undo what I did, you can see that that was fine there, and then these guys, I need to, let's break those selected groups, right, and see if by moving this it actually, yeah, jeez, right, even if I let go of that one, it still keeps attached to this one. Maybe I need to split those UVs or something. Let's have a look. Alright, so that's back to where it was. Let's redo Control Y, Control Y. Okay, Control Y. Oh, that's it. Control Z. Let's undo that. Okay, so this one and this one. Alright, so we got a problem with this one. I want to take the edge of this one, go through and drag that out. Oh, does not like that. Okay, that's fine there. That's kind of cool actually. It's an accident, but it turned out kind of nice. And these guys. So if I take these and if I split the UVs, hoping that now I'll be able to pick them individually. So back to poly mode. Or face mode, sorry, that was object mode. There we go, yeah, that's a bit better. So that's actually separated out nicely. Alright. So let's scale these down. Or do I need to? No, I can actually move those now over to here where I wanted them originally. And let's scale up on the y-axis and then across on the x. Or is it the other way around? Let's get those in there. Simple panels. Right. Okay. Fine. Okay, now onwards and upwards. Let's do the rest of this. Let's get it done quick because I've got other bits to cover. There. Let's take that. Just take those with it. Go. All right. That. And you know what? We could probably be cheeky with this one. And we could flip that and make it sit one on top of the other. Yeah, that looks like that's supposed to be the way around. Is that the same thing here? What is going on here? Yeah, it looks like it should be the other way around. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why it was flattened that way. Very weird. Okay, unless this one goes there and this one goes there, right? That could be it. If not, we're going to have some crazy results, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to make this level nice and dark. Going to get away with murder. Okay, so this belongs to another actual group. It could be this one, is it? Yeah, so that belongs there. Oh, and that's the rest. Yeah, so this goes here, and this one belong to this, like so. Cool. Let's grab this one, and we'll group those. And do you know what? I'm just going to mash those onto this surface, just like... Oh, do you know what? I need to apply the material. So luckily I can pick all the faces in here that I want. And I can click X, and then go to my material editor, and let's apply the sci-fi walls to that as well. Back to UVs, and I want these sitting on each of these parts, just like before. So do you know what? I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to manipulate these as a group because I want these to be almost identical. That makes sense to me. Let's not double up the work. So I can group those, select. Oh crap! What's happened here? So by grouping those, something awful has happened. Huh. That's interesting. Alright. So yeah. Alright, look, I'm gonna handball this one. So this here, I'm gonna take this one and scale it. I probably won't go into as much detail as I did with the other one. Let's just get the job done. I might sit this which way? I could rotate it. Oops. There we go. And scale that way. And that way. And then use that part there. Okay. Right, this is going to look absolutely horrible, I think. Yeah, look at that. But it's an FPS guy, or a top-down shooter, so it's not like it's an FPS where you're going to be looking at every nook and cranny. We've got bad guys to fight. So there's something over here that you should note. We actually have a tiling and offset controls here. So you can actually double up the actual tiling on these as well in fast snaps, okay? So if you want things to really tile over and over again, that's how you do it, okay? But typically you'd be using separate kind of textures, not like a tile set like this one, or a trim sheet. So yeah, just bear that in mind. There's a lot of extra tools here that we haven't even looked at. Fill mode. What's this? Fit. Huh. Tile. And stretch. What do we got here? Right. Okay, I'll play around with that again. Cool. So look, no dilly-dallying. Let's get on with it. I haven't actually used this strip here yet, nor this. There's some interesting stuff going on there. But yeah, time's ticking. Alright, so I'll leave that as it is. Go back up to this one, and I'm going to grab all of these and scale them right down. Oh crap. So there's a problem, right? So if I try and group those, it doesn't like it. And another thing is, it's not giving me each of these faces either, right? So I'm going to regret that. So what you can do is you can actually grow selections as well. Am I able to from here? I don't think I can. Is there any grow buttons? No. Okay. I've got that, that, and that. Oh, look, I'm going to move that, that, and that. Move it over. Cross the fingers. That, 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 that. Okay. Move those up. Move these across. I'm going to try and group these again. Okay, group select faces. Yeah, let's do that same with these ones. Let's group those. Oops. Yep. Yeah, so if I move both those together, no, it doesn't like that. Then one like that. Nope, don't want to do that. Okay, just moving it does it. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so I'm going to scale this right down. Start messing around with it. I like this kind of floor section for this maybe, or I might just actually, yeah, rotate this so that the upper section of this has got these lines going across it, and then this yellow at the bottom across these ones here. That'd be kind of cool. So control and rotate. Let's move in on that and scale them down. I'll be doing a much more extensive tutorial on proper UVs and modular blocks at a later time, but for now we're just going to have to deal with this the way it's set up. Right, that's not too bad. It'd be nice to line up these stripy parts with this kind of part here. So what I could do is grab that and move that down to there. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Does that actually meet? These are kind of pushing me off now, but yeah, okay. I've spent enough time on this. Right, so let's do the same with this one. Alright, so I believe I scaled it down. I moved it down to here somewhere and then rotated it. And then scale it right down and move it over. So it's roughly the same. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, let's look at it. There we go, that's cool. Alright, so that's that room. And I'm doing quote symbols here. Done. Right, so let's get rid of this one. Let's delete that. And then I can pick this one and duplicate it and move it across. I think that snaps nicely there. Yep, that's pretty cool. Alright, time to save. Alright, so now let's tackle one of these ones. Right, so it's going to be the same story. Pick the whole object, I may as well just hit sci-fi walls now, which will actually fill it. And let's see what this needs. TLC. Okay, this is actually looking cool like that already. Well, better. Let me think. What's the best way to do this? I would say let's take each ring all the way around. We'll do a bunch of these segments, and we'll do an alternating thing with kind of yellow stripes and then no yellow stripes and so on and so on and so on. In my selection tool, I'm going to select a loop. I wonder if you can select multiple loops. Select. Oh, that's cool. Oh, great. Alright, so that as well. So select face loop. Yes, that is magic. Okay, cool. So now with those selected, I'm going to go into my UV editor. Whoa. Right. So this is going to be fun. I might try moving them. Right, so they're all over here. Good. There's a start. So these ones I will say are going to be my plain metal. Yeah, and these ones are going to be my yellow stripes. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to have to painstakingly grab all of these. I can't think of a clever way to do this. Yeah, so I'm going to have to line these up as best as I can with each of these, right? So let's get stuck into it. There's no point in chatting about it. So line that one. So there. Do you know what? I should get these right before I start stacking. Is there an easier way? Is there an easier way than this? Could I select the verts and do something? Collapse, fit, planar. What happens if I do that? Nope. Box. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. So the problem with this is these UVs are going to skew around. So that one there looks kind of right. That's because I just dropped it in the original shape. If you skew these shapes, then they don't actually fit. See, the one I'm on right now, let's have a look at it. Just so you get an understanding of what I'm talking about. If I pick this plane right here, that's sitting right there, but it's still skewed in shape, right? So if I scale this, down to about there. That is assuming the best shape it can to keep a straight line through this texture. Okay, so you still get a nice kind of straight line thing going on here. If I pick the next one, it'll be roughly the same shape. Let's put it down here and stack it the same way. So once again, if I that should probably need to be rotated. I should probably align it as best as I can as well. So yeah, I should rotate that like so, move it up to about here, and I should match it in as close as possible. Let's have a look and see if that makes it right. So if I scale that up to about there, because these are, you know, they're the same shape, they should be the same scale and size, right? Because they're the same faces, really. They're just flipped upside down, or the opposite of each other, the mirror. So if I do that, yeah, okay. Then if I get it, and if I move it down, it's a shame about the color, the yellow color there. If I do that, see, that kind of matches up nicely. Well, not nicely, but as best I can get it in the short space of time I have. So that's kind of what I want to do. If I were to change the actual vertex layout of this, so if I start messing with the actual skew of this angle here, right? So if I grab that, if I start doing that, it's going to start widening and narrowing, and you don't want that. You want it to retain the best. These UVs will actually lay out nicely for you, or they should do. Sometimes they won't, but you know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tease it that way. So let's get through the rest of these. Enough chit chat. Okay, so I could probably, yes. What I could do is I can stack all of the ones that are facing the wrong way on top of each other, knowing that they all have to be fitted anyway. I think this will actually save me some time. It might screw the whole thing up, but at least it'll be a lesson learned. Alright, so I want that. Rotate around. I want these with those. They're roughly right. These, the rotation is not great, so I'm going to rotate these and then cross my fingers and then snap these down. Let's try and get them as square as possible. So there we go. Like that. Alright, then we're going to snap these on top of each other. Okay, like so, like so, like so. Nearly there. Let's get these ones just a little bit over here. This, put that on top of that one. And we can match these up and kind of orient and shift them around. And bear in mind, we only have to do one of these segments, alright? So the rest is all copy and paste. So I'm going to put the time in now to get this one right. And then I'm going to start copying and pasting the actual curves back around again. So let's rotate, move, rotate, move. And these, I think this and this, sorry, that one, put on there. Okay, these we can put inside that, stack them. It's okay, and these we can do the whole lot of these and rotate them around. Guys, this is extremely rough now. Okay, so you know this is not how you behave if you were, you know, putting together a professional piece of content. But look, it's just a starter to get you going on this, right? So let's scale this down, and we'll stack them inside here. Maybe a little bit higher up, and I'll try and match them in height because I'm thinking that they should be roughly the same height. It's just the actual width, because they're in a narrower part. Down here they're pinching together, or they might be in a skinnier part of the turn. So let's do that. So the same height roughly. So same with these. Let's get them scaled down. Okay, they're offsetting a little bit when I scale them like that. Let's hope that doesn't cause issues over here. I can fix them up in a sec. Alright, so scale about there. Okay. This one I want that. Yeah, that's cool. So this one. Let's scale this one here. I have no idea what this is going to look like, but look. Let's see. So roughly the same height. It's a bit. Yeah, I'm going to narrow these in a bit, unfortunately. Hopefully that still looks right. Okay. And these ones, this last batch here. Okay. That's weird. I don't know why those. Some of them are actually. Oh, do you know what? Those are the ones that I rotated that were a really funny angle. So that's why they're actually rotating like that, or that they're scaling so independently. So yeah, that's one to watch. So it's to do with probably the rotations and the actual transform positions. But you know what? That doesn't look too bad, right? So this we could say, well, let's move that one until it lines up nicely. So just there. Do you see that? See what I did? So the way that links in there, and this one here, I want that to kind of blend up into that. So I would say if we move it down until that line starts to hit about there, I would say. Okay. No, a bit lower. Sorry, I had it there. Which way? This way. Is that right? Yeah, kind of. Same deal here. Let's get that and make it turn to about there. So kind of guessing now looking at this. Yeah, that's about right. Oh, that's a bit off. Okay, so this one could probably go that way. Yep. A little bit lower. So there maybe. A bit more. Like that. Yeah, that's good. Same deal with this one. Move to the left a bit. So something like that. Yeah. Okay. I get much better than that. These, I see, I'm half tempted to leave these on the floor. They're kind of cool. They actually match in quite nicely over there. That's not bad. Okay, I'm going to leave these strips on the floor, but I might do these as like that deck plate stuff as well, right? So that looks kind of, yeah, looks a bit more interesting. So let's move these up or down in this case, is it? No, it'll definitely be up to about there. So it looks like it was actually painted together. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's cool. The same thing for here. It could probably be that one there, like so. This one here, let's map it into there. And this one, let's move that down to about there. Nope, have to be higher one. About there. Okay, that's interesting. That's not actually aligning properly. So that needs to sit. That makes sense. Something like that. Let's just, yeah. Yeah. The only alternative maybe is to rotate that actually. Let's see what happens when we rotate it. Yeah, something like that. We need to move it over. I'm kind of breaking the rules. Alright, let's see. Yeah, that's probably it. It needs to sit like that, I think. Yeah, that's a bit crazy looking, but hey. Okay. Once again, those things don't need roofs or ceilings either. I'm going to leave them in for now. and then I'll probably delete them after, or do you know what, maybe I need to do it now while I can copy and paste it. Right, I'm going to pick this, 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 and I'm going to make those into deck plating. Yeah. Okay, so these need to sit on the actual part that's kind of like deck plating, right? So, what's the most interesting? Probably this bit here. That's actually a piece of wood I photographed outside. Right, let's rotate this one. Let's rotate that one there. Okay. These, once again, probably, because I'm rotating so much, will actually move and scale independently of each other. So we'll have to deal with that when it comes up. Okay, let's move that to there, that to there, that to there. Alright. Then these need to sit down on this decking area. So I'm going to try and make this look all narrow as much as possible, but it's probably, oh no, right, it does not like that. Okay. Oh wait, if I skew from the center, it's okay. Right. Yeah. Cool. These other pieces, so that one there, for example, I don't like the way it's showing up the yellow stripes inside there. I like these kind of grating bits, so let's just fix that. Which one is it? This one here. Let's just make sure that it sits somewhere where it's just kind of mechanical stuff, like maybe that there. Okay, its counterpart is this one. Same deal. You could probably just stick it down here and it'll flip around upside down. Yep. Okay, cool. Right, so I'm happy with that for now. Let's move on because we've got stuff to do. Okay, does that look? That looks a little bit hard to actually, it doesn't look like a walkway. Maybe I need to, yeah, I think I need to actually, as much as it's going to kill me, I did a lot of tweaking on these, but that does not look like a walkable surface. So if you scale back out here and you look, would you know that you can actually walk around there? Yeah, that's a pity. Right, I'm gonna call that, and yeah, I'm just gonna push those UVs up just to the side so that they're actually. So this one, for example, I want that over here. I want it to be flooring. That's a pity, but it'll do the job. I think so. Okay, this one too. Oh, maybe the end ones. I get away with just having the end ones. It's like as if, that's the start of the walkway and it's the end of it. So, yes, that I'm going to leave. Okay, cool. Alright, so now back out of UV mode. That's the last of that as far as I can tell. I don't have to do too much more, that's fine. Oh, I'm going to have to do it for this one here. Yeah, because that's a separate thing. I can do, oh crap. No, do you know what? I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to extrude from there. That's easier. Okay, so delete. I might just leave that just in case, just for that. And then let's get duplicating again. So need to rotate. Oh, I'm in face mode. Let's, 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Okay. Now that I need to snap this way. Okay. Duplicate this one. Rotate. Go. Let's snap that down to here. It's gonna. Do you know what? It's kind of hard to look at, but still I kind of like it. It's gonna be interesting when we light it up. and maybe put some lighting in there to help guide the pathway. This one I'm going to move away just as a template for a minute before I actually delete it, and I'm going to duplicate this one, drag it down and rotate out. Is that correct? Yep, that will do it. And then just like we did before, let's pick our edges. There we go. And then shift and drag. And look at that, it actually UVs that for us quite nicely. Worked out pretty well. I'm going to leave those as they are. That looks good to me. Yep. Okay. Get away with murder. Alright, so this particular UV, I need to edit that so that it's kind of like the floorboards again. Let's push it over to here and scale it right down. You could probably use the full length of the actual flooring here. That's actually going against the way we had it mapped out above. Will that be a bit jarring on the eye, or will it make it look like a proper walkway? Let's have a look. So click out of that. Does that look right? Everything's kind of aligned this way here, and then suddenly it's walking this way. That might make a change, help break things up a bit. Okay, and this one here. Yeah, that's alright. Okay, cool. So, just like we did before, you can take the entire section. You know what, don't need that anymore. You can delete that. So let's duplicate all of these, move them over to here, and I think I need to rotate on this axis. Okay, got that right. Yep, just one more unit over. And that should just plug in nicely. Oh, crap. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Alright. So, I flipped this upside down. So, it's not floored. Hasn't got everything in there. So, let's undo that. Is there a way I can actually mirror this? So, yes, there is actually. Okay, so if I mirror objects, so if I mirror that, I don't want to duplicate it, and I want to mirror it on the x-axis. So I hit that. Oh, crap. Right, so that was already rotated. Let's see if I... No, it wasn't, was it? Okay, let's do it again. Yeah. Okay, so what have I got here? What has happened here? No, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to do them individually. I don't really need to mirror these. It's just this part. As far as I can tell. So, do you know what? I will delete these. I might have to map those out again. But if I just mirror this guy, that's all I want to do. Okay, so on the x-axis, I want to mirror that way, which is correct. Yes, I need to rotate it now, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to hold control and rotate this way. It's a bit worrying that I can still see the original Bezier there. I hope that doesn't play into things later on. It should be okay. I believe we have colliders and everything. Yeah, I got colliders, so we should be able to do all the things I want to do. Alright. This I just need to duplicate, so let's get that over here. And rotate it in. Snap it on. That looks right. Alright, duplicate. Rotate. Okay. Same again. Duplicate. And rotate. So like the overall idea for this game is just a simple top-down shooter, and I'm going to just have kind of spawnable enemies. I didn't plan to do any animation work, so I'm just going to use kind of like primitive shapes as the player and the enemies, right? It's going to be kind of like a zombie kind of spawning situation where just creatures are spawning in random locations and they're attacking you, and maybe you could have ammo pickups or something like that. But it's just to give you the very basics of how you to negotiate or to build a very basic top-down shooter system. Right. So that's the level pretty much ready. I haven't deleted the top faces of these tunnels yet. I could probably do that in one big swoop, so I'm not really worried about that. There is a lighting concern. So what I want to do is I want to change the actual lighting setup so I'm not using an actual direction light. So if I turn that off, I want there to be a much more interesting lighting setup going on in this. So I was hoping to use post-processing to make it look a little bit more eerie and put some cool visual effects in. And then, yeah, we'll move on to the actual player part next, where I'm going to create a player that we can actually move around and script, and just using the W, A, S, and D keys for starters.